There is so much to say about this, because the biggest lesson to take away from this is having a boyfriend isn't embarrassing, but not setting rules and boundaries on yourself and strategic discipline in place when you do date, that is extremely embarrassing. If you haven't written out an entire list of your standards to remind yourself in your weak moments, if you haven't figured out what your independent life, hobbies, interests, self, your core self, your self-love, what makes you you outside of your current circumstance or whoever's in your life right now, if you don't know who that is, you will fall susceptible to making your partner your entire universe, which is embarrassing. I don't think having a boyfriend is embarrassing. I think the types of people we turn into when we have boyfriends is embarrassing. And I'm saying that because that's exactly how I felt about myself. I grew up the type of girl that was obsessed with wanting a relationship, and it's all I really ever chased. Again, embarrassing. And I went on my self-love journey and I thought I'm just going to be single. I'm in a long-term relationship now. I still think being single is so chic and so amazing. And if that's you, you should do it. But the biggest thing I learned is you can be in a relationship as long as you're balancing your self-love at the same time, which is exactly why I wrote my self-love guidebook, Buy Yourself the Damn Flowers, because you should be doing this whether you're single or whether you're in a relationship. It's all about the relationship you build with yourself. And I also love that women aren't posting their partners online. One, privacy and just having something to yourself. But two, so much of us are just expressing our authentic interests online, building little communities or becoming large influencers. A lot of that should just be about you. It should be your safe space, your space to build a community without having to bring in other aspects in your life. Just making it about you and what you're into. Yes, I love that now everybody knows having a boyfriend doesn't make you cooler. It's not an achievement. It's not something to chase in your life. And I learned that the hard way. But if it is something you do want, write down your list of standards. Figure out what your life is going to look like on a day-to-day basis without having to take them with you everywhere you go. Fit up your life into all of its categories. How much time are you investing into your hobbies, into your fitness, into making new friends and meeting new people, and challenging yourself, whether it be in work or hobbies or passions?
As somebody who's married, do I feel like having a boyfriend is embarrassing? No. I feel the way that y'all be acting when you get the man, that is what is embarrassing. All of a sudden, we don't know the girl. We can't find the girl. The girl always up under the man. She can't hang out with her friends. She don't got no hobby. She don't got no interest. She used to be a runner. Now she's not a track star at all. I feel like that is what is embarrassing. You sacrificing so much for a man? A man. Please, whole time. The man, he's in the gym every single day. He hanging out with his friends. He got a whole life going on. He got a whole life outside of you going on, and you just sitting there waiting, twiddling your fingers over a man that's so stupid and dumb, but it's not your fault the whole way. It's a little bit your fault, but this type of loserdom is systematic. It was taught to you when you was a young kid. You was indoctrinated with this type of loserdom, and you have to deprogram yourself. I was constantly deprogrammed throughout my life. My grandma used to always make me come in her house and say, boys go to Jupiter to get more stupid, girls go to college to get more knowledge. She would say that all the time to me. It became a personal mantra. I still recite it. When I was 8 or 10 years old, I was in the bathtub. My dad overheard me telling my mom that my plan in life was just to marry rich. And he said, your only value in life, you think you want to tie that to a man? That's the only thing that you think you can accomplish? You think so low of yourself? And I had to turn it up. I had to lock in. I said, maybe the pimping is lacking, Dad. Damn, when you put it like that. When you put it like that, you know you have to constantly deprogram yourself. I went to an all-girls Catholic high school. When I got back around boys in college, I was like, oh my God, is this what all the hubbub is about? These people are stupid and dumb. You have to deprogram yourself. I never even thought about a wedding or anything of the sort, what my dress would look like, what my ring would look like, because I was like, when it happened, and then it just happened. But I had things to do. I couldn't just wait up in the castle for a man like Rapunzel. She was a doofus. Don't be a doofus.
Playing small is a trap. It feels safe, comfortable, familiar, but it's not safety, it's stagnation. You were not born to shrink yourself to fit inside other people's expectations. You were born to create, to lead, to shock yourself with what's possible when you stop apologizing for wanting more. So today, let's talk about audacity, the power of saying, why not me? Because if you've been dimming your light, this is your reminder to turn it all the way up. Here's the thing about playing small. It doesn't start with fear. It starts with logic. You tell yourself, I'm not ready. It's not the right time. And then, one day, you wake up and realize you've been rehearsing for a life you never actually lived. The world doesn't reward almost. It rewards audacity.
The reason why having a boyfriend is embarrassing is because y'all came on social media and showed us that it was. If everyone would have kept their low standards to themselves and didn't show us the things they were enduring at home just so they can have a man in their life, people wouldn't think it was embarrassing. But not these videos of your boyfriends and your husbands packing you dog lunches, preparing food for you that I wouldn't even feed my mom's dog. That video of that one woman who asked her husband if she died, like, would he get remarried? And he's like, no, if you died, I would just get a maid and a prostitute. Like, you could have kept that to yourself. Being in relationships with men who you have nothing in common with, coming on the internet and telling us that your boyfriend doesn't shower or wash his ass, seeing the blatant incompetence of these men that y'all are spending your lives with and having children with. Of course that shit is embarrassing, because y'all keep getting online and showing us how embarrassing it is.
Having a boyfriend is embarrassing if you chose the wrong partner. And this is coming from somebody who is literally coming up on their 5-year anniversary with their partner next week. This conversation is literally not about hating men. It's about accountability. It's about realizing that the man is not the prize. This also isn't about women realizing that we're self-sufficient. Like, we've always had that power. It's just not settling or trading that for proximity and companionship, again, with a man. I always tell my friends and family that I am a girl with a boyfriend. I am not a girlfriend, because I am a whole individual with my own life, my own friends, my own hobbies, my own experiences. And so does my boyfriend. We are two whole individuals who are coming together because we add value into each other's lives. I am fully self-sufficient. I do not need a man in any aspect. I can solely provide for myself. So I run a strict program, and I knew before getting into a relationship, if you did not add an immense amount of value and peace and prosperity to my life, I wasn't going to be in a relationship. If your boyfriend is not making things lighter and making them heavier, you shouldn't be in a relationship. And I feel like that's where people are kind of missing the mark. They're like, I don't know what Vogue's talking about, like, I'm happy here, yada yada yada. Just like, if your boyfriend is a good boyfriend, he's a good boyfriend. But what we're not going to do is settle for the bare minimum out of the sake of having a boyfriend, because again, it's not anything to be put on a pedestal now. And we all know people who are in relationships who just settle for the bare minimum because they don't want to be alone, or, oh, that's just how guys are. And it's just like, that's not the case. My world does not revolve around him. It's aligned with him. So yeah, duh, having a boyfriend can be embarrassing, especially when they diminish you, deplete your value, and contribute nothing to your life. All I'm saying is you can coexist with individuality, but only when both parties are adding value.
I'm 22 years old and I have never been in a relationship. No situationship, no almost dated type of thing, literally nothing. For a minute it did feel like I was very behind, especially being a Christian and everyone around me being engaged, married, and stepping into this season of life that I haven't gotten to yet. But being a wife is not the ultimate goal at all. Of course, it's a desire, but I'm a daughter before I'm anything else, and I'm a daughter before I'm anybody's anything. And my innocence or lack of experience does not make me naive or ignorant. It just makes me protected. God knows what I've been through, He knows what I've seen. And a lot of what we think is delay is really just God showing us His love and mercy. And being alone does not make me lonely at all. If anything, I really have to be careful being by myself a bit too much. But there is such a peace in knowing that my own company is more than enough. I would 100% rather be single than be with a man that is leading me to the fiery pits of hell. I've seen so many people lose themselves trying to prove they're worthy of love. There's literally a man who died for me on the cross, who chose me before anybody else could have chosen me, and y'all want me to settle so I can post a soft launch on Instagram and have a ring on my finger. Absolutely not. The longer I wait, the more I see God is not withholding, but preparing, and whatever He's preparing me for, it's 1000% going to be worth the wait.
Okay, is it embarrassing to have a boyfriend? I just want to weigh in very quickly. As someone who is 37, chronically single, I think the last time I had a boyfriend I was like in university, and that was like 20 years ago. I date a lot, but to keep a man and say that is my man, doesn't happen. And this is part of the reason. I have sufficient interest, but interest does not mean intention, and intention does not mean capacity. So there's that. And it's interesting to be seeing this article at the same time as like some of the most trending songs on this app at least are Can't Be the Man I Need, or Where the hell is my husband? What is taking him so long? I'm not going to finish it off because I want us to maintain respect for one another. Or my man, my baby. And I love all those songs. I love all the girls. And I think it's also important that we're also existing in the climate where women are looking for that like romantic connection. And I've spoken about my fertility journey. I need to finish that conversation because I'm also learning a lot. I'm thinking about getting a donor. So all of those things that I'm just, thinking about. And I'm a woman that was raised by a single father. My mom died when I was 13 and I was raised by a single dad. So I don't doubt the ability of men to do things. And I'm at the age where I now know how to differentiate or to see the distinction between my father as a man and my father as my father. And sometimes those two just don't mesh well. And when it comes like the fantasy of like the boyfriend or whatever, like people think of like, kind of like Sierra Russell Wilson type of relationship that's, kind of the hallmark benchmark. But then there's also the, when I see a woman, especially a woman who I've like admired and respected and who's just been like that girl and she now has a boyfriend, I do feel like, but what is it costing you? I think for me, the issue when it comes to like, is it embarrassing to have a boyfriend is thinking through, I'm going to tie my shoes and I'm in the car, but thinking about like with men, they're going to embarrass you. That is like, it's a known thing, no matter who you are. Like Michelle Obama has been embarrassed by Barack Obama before. It might not have been that camel suit, but there have been other moments. So you know it's going to happen. You just don't know when. And I just can't like live with that. Like for me, being embarrassed is not like, I actually like, it's okay. I can handle it, but it's just the, when is it going to happen? I just cannot live with bated breath. Yeah. Anyway, I'm off. As you can see, embarrassment is not a big deal. My clothes are not ironed, but I'm still going to go to work. So, but if you want to be my boyfriend and iron my clothes, I am accepting applications. Thank you.
You need to start acting like the version of yourself you keep dreaming about. Be bold enough to be misunderstood. Be loud enough to be noticed. Be brave enough to take up space. Because your audacity might just be the permission someone else needs to rise to. So, let me ask you this. Where have you been playing small in your life? And what would happen if you decided right now to stop? Because the world doesn't need more people hiding. It needs more people who dare, who show up, who take space, who live with audacity. Your moment isn't someday. Your moment is now.